Uh, Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Kahaaniyaan. We are now on episode 8, which I have entitled Spirited Away. And I am the guide for tonight, Mariam. But before I introduce myself, let's just quickly go around the table and introduce our wonderful cast and players. Let's start with the one that we've haven't seen much of recently and have missed terribly. Connie.
Aw, what a warm, sweet welcome. Hi, welcome back, everyone. Or rather, I should say, I'm welcoming myself back. My name is Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. I play Jonsali Tahid, the doctor in our Quest RPG campaign, who has been out of commission for the past episode and a half. The party has been up to some shenanigans that she will have a lot of opinions about, so get ready for a lot of scorn and tisking. When I'm not playing Jonsali Tahid in this lovely, lovely Kahaaniyaan campaign, you can find me GMing and executive producing for Transplanar RPG. We are an all transgender, person of color led, 100% homebrew, tabletop roleplay game, actual play, live streamed campaign set in an original, non colonial, anti Orientalist world. We used to stream every other Saturday at 3 p.m. Central on Twitch at Transplanar RPG, but we are moving to a weekly release schedule in November and beyond. And we're kicking that off with a 12-hour charity marathon stream on Halloween this Saturday, October 31st from 12 to 12, noon to midnight Central. So join us anytime. We would love to have you in chat. We're trying to raise money for Tigers, which is an organization based in Minneapolis for trans, intersex, and gender expansive folks. So if any of that is interesting to you, please join us. Episode 10 of our main campaign is also coming out during this marathon stream right at 3. That's it. That's all my plugs. Thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with that. And yeah, I'm going to pass the baton back to Mariam.
Yeah, and let's just go in clockwise on our screen here. So, Bashir, please tell us who you are.
Hey, I'm Bashir Gauss. I am a freelance writer and RPG designer. I have my own works at havocfet.itch.io. I also do writing and cultural consulting for, at this point, possibly most major RPG companies. Uh, I've got, let's see, coming up, I believe the Warlock Grimoire 2 from Kobold Press has two things that I wrote in it. The upcoming, I don't remember which of these projects, one of the upcoming Starfinder products has stuff I wrote in it, but I don't remember which of those products has been announced and which of them is still under NDA, so I'm not going to give a name. But my name will be, yeah, and a bunch of other stuff that I cannot talk about because I like getting work. That I play Rahim, local absolute disaster, and lizard investigator by way of, if he sticks his nose in enough messes, one of them will be whatever his boss is looking for.
Aptly put. Morgan.
I had to remember where I was. Hi, I'm Morgan. My pronouns are they, them, and she, her interchangeably. You can find me on all the socials at Serena Bezos. I do podcast work. I do live show actual plays. I can talk more about those later because it's a lot. I also do some writing, but I can talk about that later. Anywho, I play the dirt child known as Tulsi. They them pronouns. They don't deal with ghosts. They don't like they ain't no afraidness ghosts, but they respect the boundaries and want to keep them over there. So yeah, that's it for me.
And last but not least, our tea drinking warrior of very few words, Gojin, Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns, and in this campaign, I play a character known to the party as Gojin, who also uses he, him pronouns.
Wonderful. And I am Mariam the Guide. You can find me on social media at media_junkie, and I have quite a few plugs that I will plug end of this episode. But for now, let's get into. It's only been I think a week in real time, as we had to postpone our previous episode, which is why we had it last week. And let's have a quick recap for anyone who's tuning in now, or maybe has forgotten what happened last week. If you're tuning in for the first time, you know I never do that. I let the players do that because it's so much more fun, and it's one less thing for me to do.
All right. So last week we made a swift pit stop at a stepwell and mysterious haunted tree on our way to the border provinces, looking for the origin of our mysterious ring. Judsley unfortunately had horrible food poisoning and was not able to participate in the events of the session. Tulsi immediately discovered that the tree was haunted by giving it a hug and being whispered at by ghosts. We all investigated the stepwell. Gojin had a swift introduction to a mysterious ghost. We couldn't figure out anything else, really. We all went to sleep, woke up in the middle of the night. Rahim got a mysterious introduction to a childlike spirit who is very insistent that they are not a ghost. Rahim realized that the ghosts had information on the horrible ring that is his current death sentence and the people who generated it. And so immediately did what anyone else would do and talked to the tree full of ghosts and then agreed to let all of them, minus one living in Gojin's quarterstaff, possess him until they figure out some other fate for the ghosts in exchange for information, which technically means he is owed a lot of information, but more immediately means he is possessed by an enormous amount of ghosts who may take over at any time. Oh, then we've learned that the dudes what are the names? I've got it up here somewhere.
Which
Uncle
dudes?
Cat?
There's a lot of dudes.
Megacorporation family.
Ah, yes, the Lohari family.
Yes, the Loharis are trying to marry themselves into royalty to get the funds and influence that they need now that they no longer have the magic soul destroy or body destroying ring. And so we are going to stop that and probably crash a wedding.
The order in which all of that happens might be debatable.
Yes.
Does anyone else want to add anything?
I have one quote from last week that I wrote down specifically for our last game. It's like, man, there's 10,000 people looking for me. You do not want my body.
Yep, that quote was there when I think Rahim was bargaining with the ghosts.
I was just like that. I have to write this down. I don't know why, but I did.
Okay, so we are going to start the session from literally the next morning. So a couple of hours later, as you all awake. Hey, Junsley, how are you feeling from that potion food poisoning?
Oh, my stomach. Oh, my head. Johnsely carefully wipes the sleep from her eyes, slowly pushes herself up from the bedroll, completely unaware of her surroundings, is just sort of keeping two fingers pressed tautly into her temple. And she goes, how long was I out? A few hours?
You see yourself in a completely different place from what you last recall, which was the village where you had picked up the caravan. You are now in a somewhat desolate area in the desert somewhere where there's this tree, sans dolls, which you don't know the dolls were there, and there is further away what looks to be the top end of a stepwell.
Do I sense any remnants of the dead nearby? With my death sense.
Oh, yes. Yes, plenty.
Okay, I wake up and I'm like, a ghost! Immediately, I wake up and I know this bitch is haunted. So I look around. Are any of my party members nearby?
Yes, they are all... Actually, what are you all doing as part of your morning preparations?
I think Rahim's practicing dramatic revelations as to the nature of the Lahori family's crimes. Just kind of, he's got some of the paperwork in front of him, and he's just trying out cadences on... This wedding must not go on. No.
What about Gojin? What are you up to as part of your morning rituals or things that you do?
He's just drinking tea and waiting for the caravan to get moving.
And Tulsi?
Maybe Tulsi's still sleeping in.
Okay.
Just like starfish face down, head in like a whatchamacallit, it's a backpack. That's what it is. A little satchel used as a pillow, and just kind of like drooling on it.
Rahim, what are you? Tulsi! Oh my goodness, Tulsi! And Johnson's gonna run over and thinks you're dead or dying. And it's gonna shake you while she's still completely disoriented.
Oh,
thank the gods. I thought you were dead or worse.
Is there fire?
No, there's no fire. At least I think so. Gojin, where are we? What is this place?
And I think Tulsi just sort of flops back over and lays down.
Once it's abundantly clear you're not dead, John Slee just leaves you be and turns your attention to Gojin.
Oh, so we're just at a rest stop.
Okay.
Desert oasis, if you will.
On our way to Registan, right?
We may be slightly diverting course.
What do you mean, Rahim, and what are you going on about over there, muttering to yourself?
I'm rehearsing. It's very important before public speaking.
Rehearsing? What are you
Second,
going on about?
how do we put this? Do you want to present this one, Gojin?
Oh, no. I didn't want to do this.
Fair enough. Yeah, so the Lahori family are marrying into local royalty. It's going to be a big event, and if it goes through, means that they're going to have the political backing and money to basically do whatever they want until they get their ring back. Unless, of course, but the thing is, it also means that they're probably relatively desperate because they don't have their old income stream, because they don't have the ring back. So if we ruin the wedding, say by announcing to the entire country and all the neighboring kingdoms that they're frauds who got their money by systematically murdering people with magic, and that their books are cooked and they're misrepresenting themselves with marriage negotiations, we can humiliate them in public, get us some degree of public protection in that, like, hey, everyone's going to know what's up, there's no longer much to gain, and stop them from getting more resources that they can use to kill us. Also, it will be very amusing to see the look on the younger Lahori's face when I am responsible for 2 of the worst days of his life in person.
While Rahim's talking, can Johnsily sense the spirits inside of him?
Yes. So you sense, like how, so tell me a little bit about how you sense, like what sort of what do your senses perceive when there's some, like, ghost or spirit around?
I imagine Johnsely's like a pool of water. And whenever there's spirits nearby, it's like droplets falling into it. So she can sense their ripples, and if she gets closer to them, she can sense the epicenter and where they are.
Okay.
Because one of my abilities is I can spend 1 adventure point to extend my vision and see spirit creatures who are invisible as well. But she's not doing that quite yet. She can generally sense their, like, I naturally sense whether any remnants of the dead are nearby, but not their positions. So I can extend my vision and try to sense the positions if that is necessary.
Yeah, I would say if you want any sort of accurate information, you'd need to expend an action point.
That's fine. I'll do that.
Yeah. So as you awoke and you were kind of like, my supernatural senses are tingling. They were very, very faint, like the barest of ripples in the cart where everyone's possessions might be. It's like someone dropped a boulder when you were in front of Rahim.
Okay. As soon as I'm like, as he's talking, I'm like, something isn't quite right here in my head, and I extend, and I think I visibly reel back at the end of your monologue, Rahim, and Johnsely goes,
Great plan, right?
What the? Kojin, Tosi, Rahim is possessed. There's something inside him.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. There was a less great part of the last few days.
What?
Yesterday, specifically.
Hold on, 2 days? I've been out for 2 days?
You've been out for about a week?
I've been out for a week? I thought I was out for a few hours, maybe a day. And now, not only are we off course, not only are we crashing a wedding, but Rahim is possessed by multiple spirits?
About 16.
Johnsely is going to bust out her flask and take the deepest swig you've seen her take thus far since encountering her.
I think Toasty rolls over at that point and is like, should you be drinking that with,
No, that's an entirely reasonable reaction, Tulsi.
Oh, okay.
Listen,
I know Johnsly hasn't been feeling well, so I didn't know if drinking would help that or not.
it's how I get over my sicknesses. It's a completely fine, normal kind of folk medicine. I know what I'm talking about. Okay,
Mild alcoholism.
I wouldn't recommend this kind of prescription to anyone else, but I can handle it. Anyway, this is a completely ridiculous plan. First of all, who's to say they won't just chop our heads off as soon as we show up at the wedding venue? And second of all, who's to say the public will side with us? They are an influential family. They definitely have spokespeople who are charismatic. Plus, this is their wedding. We're complete strangers. Third of all, you have spirits in your body, spirits that I can sense are eager to pilot you and might take over at any moment now. So I think I need to get rid of that situation for you, Rahim.
That would be greatly appreciated, actually. We could just kind of skip over the details on how that particular bit happened, but greatly appreciated. We have all of their we have their ledgers, we have their records, we have the documents proving that their income sources have dried up. We have the documentary evidence we need to prove to the bride's family, if no one else, that this entire thing is a sham.
The documents?
Yeah, we still have, I brought them over, I copied them over with my, assisted recording device, let's say.
Oh,
Let's pretend
right.
this is remotely legal.
You know what? It's coming back to me. I think I do remember that. Well, okay. What's to say they won't accuse us of the documents being fakes? I think it might be a good idea to give the documents to the bride's family, but we shouldn't show up, weapons drawn, guns. Are there guns in this world?
Let's just say if they do, they are a novel device and are not in common use. Like, gunpowder exists, cannons exist, siege weapons exist, personal firearms, very, very rare and new.
Got it.
If they do
Gunpowder
exist.
blazing. We can't just show up like this. Please tell me, Tulsi, Gojin, please tell me you've voiced opposition to this inane idea.
But I get to wear a pretty, what's the dress called?
I am saying sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
But no, what is it called? The dress.
The sari?
Yeah, I get to wear a sari. That's why I'm excited.
I was outvoted 3-1 technically because they had asked you and they interpreted your answer as committal.
I'm retracting my vote. It is now 2-2. And any kind of tie will be settled how I personally always settle ties. A drinking contest.
Ah.
Should you be doing that again with your tummy all hurting?
My stomach's fine. I've learned now not to mix potions. I've learned now that these potions are extremely volatile, and that I will no longer be experimenting on myself. But you know what? I'm glad I did, and I wouldn't have given up that experience for the world. But you're getting me off track here, Tulsi.
I'm just saying, you might not be up to the challenge.
Oh, believe me, if there's one thing I can do, it's this. And fix people.
So are you actually challenging Rahim to a drinking
I am.
contest?
I'm challenging.
All right.
Oh no!
To
I
determine
think
the
Tulsi's just gonna sit there and get a cup of chai and just
Rahim's
Baby
plan is
Yoda,
simple.
just sit there.
Lose the drinking contest and then convince drunk Junsley that this is a great idea.
All right. So for this drinking contest, I'm gonna have both of you roll a d20.
Great.
And the first person, well, several d20s, but we'll do them round by round. The first to roll 3 successes wins, and the first to roll 3 failures loses.
Got it.
All right.
Understood.
So
first
round
roll,
1, you take a shot.
10.
11.
Okay, you both managed to hold it in.
Okay.
And if there is a tie, it'll go basically sudden death. Whoever,
Okay.
not
Whoever
actual
fails
death.
first.
Okay.
Well,
First
fails
shot
first.
down. So Johnson pours out a shot from her flask for
Yeah.
Rahim. And drinks
Okay.
drinks like a shot. I'm assuming she can just have shot glasses. I'm not sure if I have to mark that in my inventory.
I'm gonna say that you probably have them. Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right.
Easy to
Rahim
get.
just downs the first one.
How does that feel? How are you feeling, big boy?
Doing fine. Let's keep going.
Great.
All right. Second roll.
5.
5.
Okay.
So
I think
you
Tulsi's
both
just sitting
failed.
there, just in the middle,
And
watching.
I'm
just
now possessed by a ghost. Going
Yes.
by our thing from last session.
So, Junsley, I'll let you describe how you do not stomach this very well. But for Rahim, you suddenly feel all your joints aching as if you were 80, and you hear Rahim say, "You know, dearie, you know what would help with that stomach ache? Some sage." As the spirit of sage advice takes over temporarily.
Oh boy. As Rahim gets possessed, Johnson takes the shot. She goes, oh, Mama, that's a strong one. And her face just contorts completely. And she looks kind of green around the gills for a moment. And then when she speaks, her voice is visibly slurred. That was nothing. Hit me again.
You're pouring the drinks, sweetie.
Oh, yes, of course. She completely misses for the first one. It's just like, but y'all notice that the drink continues to flow, even though it should be out by now, continues to flow from the flask. She eventually gets it in both shot glasses and downs the third shot.
All right.
Oh boy.
I've got a natural 20 over here.
I got a 9.
Okay.
So the spirit of sage advice is evidently a hard drinker.
I'm gonna say, since you rolled a 20 and usually you get a perk, I'm gonna say that if you roll a 5 or higher, it's a success just for the next one, as you're able to somehow.
Like when I switch, when the spirit of sage advice goes away, the drink just also goes with her, whatever she just drunk.
Yeah. Sorry, what was your result, Jensley?
9.
Okay, so that's still 1 success. Okay,
Two
so
failures.
it's 2 for 2 so far.
Okay.
All right, this might be the last one. We'll see.
I still have a dog in this fight. I can do it. Here we go. And she's gonna go for her next shot.
All right.
That's 10.
I got a 6, which is a success thanks to the ghost.
Okay. I'm gonna
So Rahim
say
wins.
this is gonna be a lot of alcohol by this point. So this 5th round is the last one. If you both succeed, I'm gonna take the higher result as the one who's able to kind of hold their drink down a little more.
All right.
Mm-hmm. I have so one more roll?
Yeah.
Because we both got 2 successes.
Yeah, 2 successes. Okay. Well, you're at 3 successes now, both of you.
Right. Okay.
11.
17.
Oof, okay.
Okay. So you both are going to be basically hungover for the rest of the day.
Okay.
But Jensley, tell me how you managed to I'm gonna say you have to do some sort of a thing, like walk a straight line to see if you're still so tell me how you managed to succeed in this challenge.
Johnsley is going to I quickly looked it up. Johnsley is going to grab Rahim's claw to prove that she's fine. And she goes, distal phalanx, middle phalanx, proximal phalanx. These are your phalanxes. This is your trapezoid, your metacarpal, your capitate, your scaphoid, your lunate, your radius, your ulna, your pisiform, your carpus. Need I go on?
Rahim stands up, starts to say something, and he just can't get it out. He keeps slurring it. Ish. Ish. And he just sits down.
Once again, Johnsley Tahid, undefeated champion of chugging shots and naming bones. And she sits down as well, looking kind of sick.
I think Tulsi's still there with the chai that they have, and they look at Gojin and be like, "That was interesting."
So the thing is, and this is before, I wanted to say this before they got into a drinking contest, but I believe one of the conditions of the possession, the spiritual possession of Rahim, was that the spirits would be avenged by going to this wedding. And,
oh yeah.
What? Why didn't you tell me that? And she just burps.
I
Mm.
figured I would win.
Look here, big guy. Just because you're a huge lizard and I'm a tiny normal person doesn't mean you beat me. I eat spirits, the alcoholic kind, for breakfast in an extremely literal fashion. So my victory was for naught.
It's a
It
pride
was
thing.
a victory for day drinkers everywhere.
I'm not a day drinker. I'm just a drinker. I'm not. I don't have an identity tied up in this. It's just something I do. Do you call someone who brews tea a teaber? No.
A what?
Exactly.
I might call Gojin that. It feels like it fits.
A teaber. Gojin the teaber. You know what? Screw it. Clearly, my victory doesn't matter. So let's just go to the wedding. But we have to be
Yay.
careful. You get to wear your sari, but we have to be careful.
All right. Well, let's get you two back on the card here, because y'all aren't walking. So come on, come
I
on.
can walk. I'm choosing to get on the cart. And John Lee wobbles over to the caravan and flops down.
So, you know how in lizards bask, they kind of just like flop down on the ground with their limbs kind of splayed and they go a little flat?
They go a little
Rob
footy.
just kind of
Does Ron
walks
just
over
glutes?
and, yeah, falls over onto the thing, kind of head forward, and just lies like that for a while.
All right. Gojin, is there anything else we need to do? Because apparently we're the only ones who are functioning right now.
No, I'm totally glad that we settled that matter. That was already settled.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so you get on the cart, and the caravaneers just look at you, look at the two kind of passed out passengers, and just kind of looks, shakes their head, and continues. You make your way. They are not going to go in the direction you need to go if you are going to crash the wedding, because they are going to continue further south, and you need to kind of go now northeast, to Shahabad, which is a place where a lot of nobility and sort of old money and old power and influence are, which is perfect place if you want to marry into wealth. And the town you are stopping at will be another sort of like transitional town where there are markets and caravans and essentially a hub, where you can also, if you had mail, because I recall there was a letter written that you were waiting for the next town to go post, you can do that. It is called Bunya Nagar, and it's a tiny little town on the big trade routes that happen for all these caravans. And the caravan essentially is like, okay, well, it was great traveling with you, and if you are ever going on our route again, we'd be happy to help you, but essentially you'll need to find a new caravan to go in the direction you need to go.
Yep. So I'm wondering if I can, like, I've got clay idols, and I'm wondering if I can just kind of trade those for a bunch of good, fast horses so we can ride with all speed to Shahabad.
Oh, you're ditching a caravan idea and looking to just ride.
Yeah, just kind of get maximum speed out of this, so maybe we'll have a couple of extra days.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna say that those clay idols, the clay statues of the dancers, would definitely be enough to procure horses. I would say, actually, you know what? Let's roll a d20 to see how good of a deal you get.
4. So I'm possessed by a spirit and get a bad deal.
God.
What
Okay.
does the ghost do?
So you are possessed by the spirit of accountability. And you haggle a little too hard, and you land up with 2 donkeys. They're certainly beasts of burden, so they can carry all your stuff, and you could probably go, riding 2 apiece. But they're probably going to take the same amount of time as a caravan.
We have 2 donkeys now.
But they are donkeys, and they are your own.
Baby. And I think Tulsi's gonna just hug both of them. Just be like, oh, sweet friends.
And they
still
kind of nuzzle
included,
into
or-
you, and they're just like, hi, like in nonverbal communication.
My friends.
Mariam, are Rahim and I still under the influence, or are we
No,
sober now?
but it's a couple of days, so after
What?
24 hours, you've kind of you had one hell of a headache.
Yes.
And more.
We sure did. As soon as we see these donkeys, Johnson Lee goes, I'm not getting on one of those things.
Look, it's fine.
They're so
They're very
sweet.
pleasant, and they can carry a lot of weight. You can walk alongside, but it's not going to be more pleasant.
Donkeys are stinky. They are stubborn. They are everything that I despise. I absolutely refuse to get on.
But look at them. Look at their
Gojin
cute
politely declines to point out the irony in this. And I think we should just wait for a caravan, just because crashing a wedding is going to take a lot of energy, and I think that if we're not going to get there fast, well, we might as well get there and comfortable.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Gojin.
But I already named this one Chickpea.
Well, we're keeping the donkeys. I evidently bought the donkeys. We're not giving them away. We'll keep them while we go in the caravan.
And this one's quinoa.
Chickpea and quinoa?
Uh-huh.
Any
Look,
other
don't get too attached. Donkey is pretty tasty if things go south.
No, don't you dare.
Okay,
and they kinda
fine.
snort in your face, Rahim.
Well, if only you had a third one to call lentil.
Oh my god. Or garbanzo. Or
I'm so
You'll
glad
get there,
I did
Tony.
not name them, because
John Sleet looks over at Rahim and just says, I am never gonna get used to the fact that sometimes one of them just gets in the driver's seat and you're gone. What if that happens during the wedding and we can't control what you do?
Things are going to go very south very quickly. On an unrelated note, are you good at exorcisms?
just randomly, just curious.
My field of expertise primarily lies in the land of, let's say, the living and the close to dying. I don't think I have any out of
I'm
character. I don't
very
think I have.
close to a lot of dead people right now. Does that count?
I could. John Lee actually suddenly gets kind of serious. There's an let's say experimental procedure that I pioneered. I'm still pioneering. That you know what? Never mind. If it gets there, it gets there. I'm not gonna. Forget that I said that.
No, please keep talking. By all means.
It's primarily theoretical. I haven't really tried it on anything larger than a mouse before. But if you really, I could try. It's technically you would count as the host creature. I can't do anything. I could. It's risky. I wouldn't risk it actually. Like I said last week,
on Gojin's walking stick.
Well, no, I actually find this quarterstaff very useful. Honestly, quite frankly, I don't see Rahim being possessed as a downside. I just feel like it's more of a lateral kind of lateral move when it comes to his decision making. So,
you know what, Gojin? That's actually not a bad point. Forget I said anything.
Okay.
So, caravan it is. And the donkeys can walk, right? They can walk beside us.
Yeah. They are healthy animals. They look they're in their prime. They're not built for speed. They're built for endurance.
See, Tulsi, we don't have to give them away or eat them. They'll walk beside us.
Oh, I was never going to eat them, and I would never let anyone eat them. And I think she's just like, all of a sudden gets really serious.
I think this is going in the mistake column. Notes on
this, not the 16 possessions.
No, that appears to have been entirely worth it.
You know what? I tire of this donkey drivel, and John Lee is gonna try to hail a caravan or sign us up for a caravan to go where we have to go.
Yeah, so currently the only caravan that is heading in that direction is a caravan of kind of that goes on a silk route, so it's like luxury goods, silks, perfumes, and stuff like that. They don't normally take passengers, but the fact that you had 2 donkeys, they're willing to be like, okay, fine. It might not be bad to have y'all around. And the head of this caravan is a perfume merchant. And basically says you're welcome to sit in any of the caravans except my caravan, as it has very delicate perfumes. The smell can get overwhelmingly, and whatever you do not get into my stuff.
Cool. That's fine by me. We'll just be in this back caravan over here, won't we?
Yeah, and the one thing you also notice is that all the caravanneers that are going are all women. Usually it's a mixture of genders and everything, but very specifically, this one is all women. And the perfume merchant's name is Nagraj.
Do any of the women seem to give Gojin and or Rahim any weird looks?
In what way?
Oh, like suspicion or unease or anything like that?
We are going to ritually murder and eat these people over the next 3 days. The normal array of weird looks you might give someone who's out of place.
Don't say that out loud, Rahim.
If it affects your decision at all, we'll just say that because of the heat, Gojin is going shirtless.
Oh my
as,
God.
travel.
Then there will certainly be some looks.
Yes.
No, there doesn't seem to be any particular looks of any kind. They mostly keep to themselves, and kind of only give you looks if you are anywhere near the main caravan where you were told explicitly not to sit in or enter.
Mm-hmm. I don't sense any like spirits or anything, right, in this caravan outside of the obvious.
Well, there's lots of spirits, but they're not the kind that are. They are more aromatic in nature.
Understood. Great. John Lee gets situated in the cart. Sets up her little bedroll, and is ready to go.
Mm-hmm. So the first sort of leg of journey, going through, basically you're kind of going back the way you came, for a little bit, and then heading more in an eastern direction toward Shahabad instead of further up into Takhtabad and sort of the northern Bahari territories and everything. Um, the four assistants that are there kind of they kind of cover their head and cover their face in a very thin veil, mainly it's not a modesty thing so much as it's a traveling thing. So for most of the journey you just see their eyes, and they kind of just keep a wary watch to make sure you don't go into the main caravan. But they're kind of around, and they ask you questions of, so, like, hey, where are you from? Where are you headed?
I'm from I'm from not here. The city that she was working in, was it Takhtabad?
Yes.
Okay. I had actually a medicinal practice that I was a part of in Takhtabad. But me and my associates here, we're on our way to a event.
Oh, what sort of event?
A fun one, are you what about you? What are you on your way to?
Oh, just our usual trade routes. We usually are in Berlin, or in the Western Bahari region, where we get all these goods, and then take them to Banga or Shahabad, where a lot of these goods are in demand, and then we take other goods that are there and we go back in the other route.
Oh, sounds like an exciting life
My
to be on the
my
road all the time.
my my boss is very much in demand. She makes the greatest perfumes. Some would
Oh.
say they are perfumes that could awaken those that are dead from inside and quiet those that are too lively. I mean, it's and then another one kind of kicks her in the elbow. It's like, that don't scare them like that. She's just being hyper dramatic.
Kicks her in the elbow?
Yeah, like
all
sort
the
of
way?
like elbows her.
It's gonna be like, that's an extremely flexible leg.
They're sitting down and like one's laying back and he just boops them.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's true. That could also work. That's interesting. Johnson's gonna look around to see if anyone else is like catching on to this and like give them like a look.
so
Go
ahead.
Gojin just comments, "Wow, what a coincidence."
And then Tulsi's like, so is it just perfumes and all these caravans, or is there like other stuff, or?
Well, we have some silks and brocade and some other things that that people would like to make clothes out of, or sometimes saris.
Saris?
Yeah. We have a couple of pieces that are like 9 yards. That would be and 6 yards for variety.
I think Tulsi's just like sitting there, just kind of quietly, just like.
Here comes the montage.
No, I'll wait. It's okay. It doesn't happen yet.
So these perfumes, could I try a sample?
Well, maybe when we rest, if you're interested in purchasing or something,
Yes.
maybe.
Yeah. How much are they? Would Johnson be able to afford them with just the gold she has, or would she have to? Would this be like an exchange?
From the starting price that they kind of reel off, if it is definitely on it's a nobility price. So it is very much like you can scrape together something, but it would be just enough to get like, I don't know, a spit of the lowest quality perfume they have.
And I assume the lowest quality perfume they have isn't the one that can awaken the dead and quell the living.
No, I think they were being. You're not sure if they were serious or whether they were being overly dramatic, like, oh, like the aromas awaken the senses, sort of a thing.
Either way, I'm interested, and to try to get a better bargain, I'm looking around, seeing if any of them look sick, if any one of them seem in need of a doctor.
Sure, roll a d20.
Oh God. There's no inspiration in the system, is there? I got a 3.
Oh no.
I would say that if there was anything for which I feel like you could get some benefit, I would probably lower the bar for what a success would look like, sort of a thing. But this doesn't apply here. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's really hard to tell. They're kind of fully covered. There's no physical signs, and from their speech, you don't get any sort of like, factors without actually kind of examining them very closely. Like actually having a physical exam one-on-one with any of them.
Sure, and I don't want to be like offensive, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I don't want to offend them. Yeah, okay, that's a dead end, it seems. So Johnsley's just gonna hang back, and maybe when we're resting, out of curiosity, is gonna poke around the forbidden caravan.
Okay.
Immediately.
It's actually gonna. Psst. Ryan,
Yes?
do you wanna, scope out the.
And betray the trust these kind people have put in us to accompany their caravan to Shahbad.
Rahim, do you know why I asked you?
Yes, I am obviously in.
Okay. I figure Gojin would rat us out or look so disapproving that I'm gonna feel bad about myself. And I think Tulsi would be down, but I don't trust them to not make a racket.
Yeah. So I'm going to spend 1 AP on disguise. Actually, so disguise is normally just me. Can I also use it on Junsley for another AP?
Well, is that what the
No, normally it's just I can do it to myself. I can whip up a disguise with access to stuff in like a minute. It's not foolproof, but it'll fool people inspection, etc., etc.
I'm just taking a quick look.
I think to distract, I think Tulsi's actually looking, is talking to them about the saris. And so maybe that's how they're all distracted.
You know what? Sure. I'd say use 2 AP to do it.
All right, so that's gonna mark off 3 AP down to 14, and Junsley and Rahib are just have solid disguises as some of the people in this caravan. Yeah, Rahib's kind of hunched down a little, so he's not as obnoxiously tall. And all right, ready to go.
Johnsley's looking down at her. So what does the disguise look like? What would be most accurate, Mariam?
So you probably want to disguise yourself as as any of the Caravaneers, which is currently 5 individuals, and the 4 of you.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna pick the girl I was talking to.
Okay.
I'm just going to pick whoever's tallest.
Cool.
That would probably be the head Caravaneer, Nagraj.
None of the girls have exposed arms, right?
No, because they're wearing essentially a full sleeve up to like mid thigh length or actually just knee length tunic, and they're essentially wearing shalwar kameezes, except the pants are not too baggy. They're a little kind of closer to they're almost like leggings, but they bunch up into sort of almost like bangles at the bottom. It's more like a churidar is what the outfit is called. And then the veil that they have is kind of very loosely wrapped around their head and wrapped across their face just to, the elements. And they're wearing very light colors because, again, they travel during most of the day, which is, it's hot, so it's like these very light pastels, closer to white than any particular color.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rahim, I must color myself impressed. I had no idea you could cobble this together from whatever you had in your pack.
Oh, this is one of my many, many skills that I largely don't bother with at the moment. But yeah, you'd be amazed at how many places a 7-foot tall lizard could get into with access to a small disguise kit.
Yes, it is quite baffling. Let's get in and out. I don't want to get caught, even in these disguises. I feel bad because they are giving us a lift for basically nothing in exchange, but all the spirit
It is suspicious, isn't it?
It is extremely suspicious. I need to at least get a whiff of, or maybe pour it in my pot and see what it's made of. Johnsley is gonna creep up to that cart.
Okay. So Tulsi, tell me how you are distracting the Caravaneers.
So I didn't want to say this earlier, but we're actually going to a wedding, and so I was really interested because you said you had saris, and I really want to wear a sari because I've never worn a sari before. So can you? I know there's like layers and folding and like. Can you just like show me how to do the thing? So if I buy one of your saris or get someone somewhere else, I don't know if y'all have something that like goes for me, but can you just tell me how like I do it, please?
Yeah, and the lady who was speaking to Junsley, her name is Nagini, and the other lady who is her name is Nugma. They both are sort of like, ooh, like they kind of had this idea of like fashion show.
I am your doll, dress me up.
Speaking of dolls, there's a bride doll always somehow managing to find its way in your sort of peripheral, Gojin. Just like a Mona Lisa always staring at you.
His fingers just drum on his quarterstaff, idly sizing up that doll and about how much room he has to swing said staff. But then he ultimately decides not to.
Yeah, so they start draping you with various silks and brocades, and it's actually quite hot because they're kind of like very thick material, like solid. Yeah, so as Rahim and Junsali, it seems like no one's paying attention yet as you kind of stopped for a longish break, and it seems like the main Caravaneer has kind of wandered off to take care of themselves and to kind of replenish. There is a natural pool nearby. Actually, I'm gonna say it's another step well, a different, like, there's another sort of step well nearby. No tree, just, it's a natural step well on the road. And they've gone to essentially fill their water skins, take a bath, etc. And
So you do take baths in them.
yeah,
Y'all.
you do. And the four, essentially, I guess I would say, assistants slash guards are kind of just milling around, but they're right now very busy with Tulsi as their model for all the silks that they have. And they're sort of like, be careful, you don't want to get them too, like, you don't, some of them are a little more delicate, you don't want to ruin them.
I think Tulsi's just like with the delinquents. They're just like, no, I'm not moving. I'm not moving.
And you're kind of draped, like one shoulder is one pattern, another shoulder is another pattern, so you can kind of see which one suits you.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you enter the caravan, it seems like there's like the usual packages, and then there's what looks to be an ornate chest that has locks all over it. That seems to, and looks like a much larger and expanded version of the perfumery set that you had recovered from the manor when you were at that village. And that is what you see. And backpacks, like, with personal belongings.
I feel like we should probably turn back. If I was expecting maybe just some crates, but a locked box, it looks so ornate.
Well, you don't know if
Shoot,
it's
I
locked
didn't
or
actually
not.
take
It
the
just has a
automatic
lock,
lock-picking ability.
like keyholes for like putting in.
Sure. Johnsley's just gonna rudimentarily try to open it.
Yeah, they're locked.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, if we are being careful about this, it could be for the best to at least leave for now that we know there aren't a dozen dead bodies hidden back here. Or we could investigate further and see if there's anything being hidden.
Also the other thing is that on the box there's some very elaborate designs on it. And I just realized as I said it, I'm gonna change it a little bit. They are serpentine in design, but they look more like, I would say, Eastern dragons.
Ooh, very interesting.
Does anything about the design like ring a bell? Like, for any reason?
I would say you were in Banga. You've seen designs in certain communities that come further east from Banga, like much, much further.
That's interesting. The design here looks. Is there like a particular name for any
I do
cultures?
not have a name for that yet.
I'm assuming it's like Fantasy China.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, yay, Fantasy China!
But I focus mostly on Sarzameen, which is why it's like I did not want to rename Fantasy China, so just
Sure.
further east.
Further east, got it. Huh. These look a little bit like what they might have farther east. That's interesting. Why would some perfumeries from here have access to a box like this? Ryan, you don't happen to be able to, pick locks.
Oh, well, I've always considered myself a dab hand at it. Do I just have mundane lockpicks? I do have mundane lockpicks, so that's
which
good
you
to
can
know.
certainly try.
Yes. 12. Flat success.
Yes, success. Tell me how you lockpick it open.
He flicks a hand open, and he's got like a little shim and like one of those the tension bars,
Yeah.
and he just kind of fits it in, wiggles for a bit, listens for it. It's Have you ever listened to or watched like the lock picking lawyer on YouTube? Who's this dude who just
Yes.
Yes, it's kind of like one of those for one of the mid-end, like one of the decent locks that it takes a little bit, but it's not that long, and it looks way simpler than it actually is. Just kind of fiddles a little bit, listens, fiddles again, that bound, clicks, and then peels it open to see what's inside.
Yeah. So as the final click happens, the lock sort of circles, like almost like a animated thing. Like it's a little Ouroboros style.
Ouroboros, yes.
Yes. And there's a little hiss as the drawer kind of opens. And inside there is multiple very tiny vials that would be the equivalent of like 1 dram. So like in candy making, I think that's like maybe, I don't know, 10 mils or 5 mils. It's like very, very tiny vials of various colors. You do not smell anything though, because they seem to be they seem properly stoppered to prevent any sort of like they're airtight and watertight.
Well, they look to me like very expensive perfumes, which might be an appropriate gift for a royal wedding. But if you have your suspicions, you could always grab a sample.
That is true. I feel bad. What if it's just perfume and we're literally just betraying their trust? You know what? Let's do this quickly. Johnsley pulls out her perscapitious pot and grabs a vial and dumps it in.
Okay. Roll
Just a
me
straight vial.
D20 before.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Let's do it. Okay, that's a 19.
Okay, you managed to not smell it before you dump it in the pot. You realize it doesn't have a scent whatsoever.
Huh.
And as you put it in the in the bot, because I can never pronounce that damn name, you hear a gigantic burp of almost a little too loud, but the assistants are still busy. And then after a couple of moments, it gets spit out, and you manage to avoid it from spitting out. And it does fall into the ground, and there's a little hiss as it hits the ground. And you see a picture of a serpentine character, a serpentine figure, someone holding it and squeezing a fang, and it getting put into a glass vial.
Venom? Sorry, let me do that in character. Venom?
Rob just grabs her. Put the vial back in the box.
Okay. She puts the empty vial back in the box.
Rob closes it, like relocks it. We need to get back to the donkeys right now.
Yeah. They hustle. She hustles. She's on her way.
And I think as they're coming up, Tulsi's I think slowly like being unwrapped, and I think as they're like doing like their fifth turn or whatever, they're like, "So what do you think Gojin should wear?"
Are you saying that to the assistants?
Yeah.
It's like, I think a very nice Shervani would look good. We don't have any set pieces, but sort of with your permission, ushers you to come in to kind of put some cloth against you to see what the material and the thing would look like.
I'm pretty sure that I am not going to be going so much as an attendant.
Well, you still need to look your best. And they sort of kind of just gently pull you in and start putting like 2 or 3 different types upon like on your shoulders. It's like, oh, I think this color would really bring out your eyes.
So which one allows me the most freedom of movement for fighting?
Why would you need to fight at a wedding? Or is this a wedding, I've heard of certain weddings where they do like sword displays and stuff. Is that the wedding you're going to?
Oh no, this is not going to be for exhibition.
Oh, I see.
Oh, like is there anything here that would serve as armor?
I think Tulsi at this point is just like laying on their tummy, just like doing one of these, kicking their feet behind them, just watching this interaction.
I feel at this point when there's that awkward pause of like this unspoken "why would you need this as armor" kind of in the air, that's when Rahim and Junsley are kind of like hustling in.
Oh, how did the Sari exhibition go? Or
oh my god, it's so good. So apparently blue is still my color. And so we'll be going with like a light blue with like gold accents.
Ooh,
That's great. Very royal.
What'd you call it?
That's
Teal?
nice.
Aqua?
And you, Gojun, what are you gonna be wearing in terms of fashion?
We haven't quite solved that. I figured I was just going to wing it.
It is a big event. You might want to, think this one through a little, go over your options.
Hold on. You told them what the event was, Tulsi?
I mean,
We're
why?
going
Like,
to Shahabad, it's public news. It's
in Shahabad.
I didn't say it was there. I just said we're going to a wedding.
Right.
Are you going to that princess's wedding? Are you nobility or something? Oh my god. That was
And Tulsi's like, well, I didn't want to say it, but like, wink.
Did you just say wink out loud while you
Are
winked?
you also headed there?
What?
I think it would be a great market for perfumes.
Oh yes, definitely. And also for all these silks, since we heard the announcement, that's why we are going over there. In that same direction. It's such a coincidence you're going to the same wedding.
Yes,
But no, actually, I hear that place is actually overrun with a hyena problem. Yeah, there's hyenas everywhere. Their droppings are getting into the water supply. It's disgusting and filthy. You don't want to go there.
Hyenas are like that. How dare you?
Tulsi! Like a vein pops out on the side of Johnsley's head.
So are you visiting the groom side or the sorry, I don't quite remember the families involved. I'm more here as help than anything else.
So quick sidebar. Thank you so much for Transplanar RPG for rating.
Hey.
And coming in the middle of some information that perhaps should not have been shared.
Yes.
Yes. To say the least.
So sorry, you were saying, Rahim?
I was just asking, like, is there a particular, did you have a side of the wedding you were planning to sell to, or is this more of a, go and see who's in the market sort of thing?
Well, since you're going to the wedding, you need fine goods, yes? And you want to smell nice, you want to be in fine clothes, so we figured we'd be able to sell all these items that we procured.
I think Tulsi nodding along the whole time, like, yeah.
I think that's a wonderful. But there's so many weddings happening everywhere all the time. Who's to say which wedding? I doubt we're going to the same wedding. And again, I need to stress the hyena problem is extremely desperate. Turn back as soon as you can. After you drop us off, of course. But
Rahim
I
just
must say,
tried
they were
to silently push Junsley out, like kind of just silently trying to push Junsley out of the conversation.
As
he
you're
tries
pushing
to
me out, I'm like still, on my way out. Like, it's desperate. They will rip up your silks and poop and everything you love. And she's gone.
Gojin is just standing there staring at the ceiling in askance. And then he just sighs and just walks out.
Wait, Gojin, we still haven't picked your colors. Okay.
I'm sorry about both of them.
You'll just hear something like you'll just hear something like maybe something in red to hide.
So a deep red for him. Like a
well, we
wine.
can reserve if you. I mean, we don't do tailoring services, although you could probably find a tailor easily in town once you're there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just figure something out.
Yeah, I think Rahim's just trying to like slowly wind down the conversation and get these two back to the donkeys for the hey, we might be moving with a bunch of assassins conversation.
Yeah. While after Johnsley's been pushed out of the conversation, she's gonna quickly look at the outside of her pot again. Does the creature look like a snake? Is it like a snake?
Yes.
Or proportionally, is
actually,
it too big?
I'm gonna say it looks more like a scorpion.
Okay, that's somehow worse. Yeah, that's
and it's the tail stinger that's being milked in the picture.
Okay. Does it just look like a normal scorpion? Is there something specific about this scorpion?
It looks like your garden variety poisonous scorpion versions.
And there's nothing else. No other ingredient.
Nope.
And based on what we saw of the vials in the box, they all look the same?
No, they're all different colors, but they're all the same size and shape and properly stoppered and very tiny dose. Teeny tiny
Wonderful.
dose.
So all kinds of different poisonous scorpions. Got it. Johnsley is going to try to hunt down one of the people working. Maybe the girl she was talking to. Obviously, her disguise is off now. She's peeled it off.
Yeah. Yeah, so Nagini is around, the one you were talking to.
Hey, Nagini. How's it going? Nice well, right? Getting our feet all wet in it? Taking a nice dip?
No, all four of them didn't go to the step well.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, they were all basically doing fashion show stuff.
Cool. She's gonna try to like go up to Nagini and like have a sidebar with her.
Yeah. So she's putting away all the silks and brocades and the multiple volumes of clothes, like fabrics that she had put out to kind of do a little modeling sesh.
So, how long have you been working for this, caravan?
Oh, since I was like 14 or something.
So how old are you now?
And she kind of smiles and she's like, well, I'm 20.
So 6 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Well, you must have been one of the founding members then.
Well, no, my master is, she's very good at training us, and she takes in those who have the aptitude for the eye for seeing such goods, and trains us. Like, I came into it a little late, but the others, they've been there since they were like 6 or something. Very young.
Ooh, they train you from a young age on how to make these perfumes and ship them out to people. That seems like a very family-oriented business.
I mean, but isn't any business? I mean, if you're into a particular trade good or you're a baker, wouldn't you learn from a young age as soon as you're able to train?
Absolutely. Yeah,
mean-
see, I'm a doctor, and I've been a healer since I was a young child, so I completely understand what it's like to pick up a trade from a young age. Your master, that would be Nagraj, correct?
Yes.
What's she like?
Oh, she's a strict but fair taskmaster. She teaches us on the whole how to perfume, how to
Mhm.
create the perfumes,
Mhm.
and also how to look at pick out good fabrics and other luxury goods. I mean, the luxury goods are kind of the extra. We're really more into aromatics.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. And you make the perfumes, all of them, yourself? She trusts you to make all of the perfumes?
No, I'm still learning how to make the perfumes. I'm just mostly good at blending them and figuring out what works best for our clients.
I see. And your clients seem to range all over and seem to be very high class.
Yeah. Um, they like all different scents or anything. Um, I mean, if you'd like me to make a sample for you,
Is that code?
code for what?
And make a sample. Johnson's gonna give a look like,
A sample?
yes, a sample.
I'm not sure what you're going.
Oh, I think you are sure what I'm talking about here. I would like a sample, please.
Roll me a d20, please.
Oh God, okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a 6. Gentleman 6.
Okay. So, you I'm gonna say that you I
This is a hard choice.
this is a hard choice, and I'm trying to think of what a hard choice for this particular thing would be. I think either you are she thinks you're either hitting on her or you are you're essentially trying to oh gosh, I'm trying to think of what the other option is. I'm so bad with tough choices. She either thinks you're hitting on her, or she gets oh gosh, this is where I completely yeah either hitting on her, or you are trying to, or you are basically kind of trying to take a hit on one of your friends.
Oh, like trying to kill one of my friends?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know which one's more dramatically interesting. Let's go with the second one.
Taking out a hit on one of your friends.
Yes. Do I get to decide which friend? Or is she gonna
Yeah.
assume?
Yeah. So she says, okay, well, who is the sample for?
Ah. Is she like looking at the rest of the party when she asks this? Or is it just like just
Yeah,
looking at
well, she does have a quick glance over there and says, is it the lizard man?
what? Oh. 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 Yes. But it's not like It's not direct delivery, correct? I received the package,
Why would you want to receive the package?
so I can do what I want with it. Perhaps I would like to put some perfume in his food, or perhaps I would like to put some perfume, in his eyes when he's sleeping.
Well,
I like to have creative control in these situations.
that's rather unusual because usually we make sure that the client receives it directly so
I
that
see.
they don't get implicated. But also, the boss said something.
You know what? I'm getting cold feet. Never mind. I'm good. Chansley's gonna try to back out of the situation. Thank you very much. Great customer service. Love the face-to-face time that we're getting here. I feel heard. I feel like my needs were addressed. Thank you. I'm just gonna back away.
And she looks confused from the distance, but then her eyes widen as she realizes something and then walks away.
Okay. Chansley, time is of the essence. She turns, goes back to the party. Is the costume, is the thing still happening?
Who you costume to who?
Oh, sorry. Is the not the costume, the
dress
fashion
party?
show.
Oh,
Is it
that
still
was
happening?
over a while ago. People
Great,
were-
okay, cool.
You caught her while
I
she
think
was putting
Tulsi's
stuff
busy
away.
I think Tulsi's busy just brushing the donkeys.
Tulsi, there you are. Where's Gojin? Rahim is gonna try to gesture for the rest of the party to come
kind
over.
of comes over from where let's see. I think he was probably just kind of watching he was trying to pass the time, waiting for people, or waiting as we walk. So yeah, Rahan just comes over.
Mm-hmm. Gojin!
Gojin just suddenly appears behind Johnsley, sipping tea.
Oh my goodness, you're so big. I don't know how I missed you. I have some bad news. So I have to come clean. Rahim and I did a little bit of snooping because something didn't feel quite right about these people who were giving us a ride. Turns out they're assassins. They traffic in poison. And I think one of them thought I was trying to put a hit out on Rahim and knows that I know that she knows that I know. And she's going to tell her boss.
I don't know why this group just seems to have a problem with leaving things alone.
Well,
But if you could learn more about a thing, why would you leave it alone?
yes, exactly. It appealed to my naturally inquisitive nature, Gojin. You would deny me this?
Have you ever considered a career in private investigative services, Junsley?
I have not, but I might now.
Got the right mindset for it.
I don't know. I just feel like minding your own business and not getting involved in an assassin's business is something that could be considered self-care.
But listen, I would have not stuck my nose into this any further, but then we discovered they're going to the same wedding. What if one of their targets is related to, what we're trying to do?
So either they're poisoning the Lothari family,
Or they're
which is
poisoning
okay
the
by
bride.
us. But if they poison the bride, then it screws over the Lothari family.
Unless the Lahari family wants the bride to die for some reason.
Well, you can't transfer the wealth until after the marriage.
That's true. Is that true, Mariam?
Yeah, there's no point in if you're going to get a whole bunch of money, you'd rather wait until they're married to get the wealth. You get nothing if the marriage doesn't happen.
Yeah, but we don't have a timeline on this prospective.
Well, the marriage is going to be
No, I mean on the murder. We don't have a timeline on the murder, is what I'm saying.
That's true. They could be getting there to set up, or the poison could be extremely slow acting.
Why do you think they're trying to poison the family? Like, what led you from them just being caravans to them poisoning the family? So they may be assassins, but like, how do we know they're going to be assassinating anybody?
Correction, they're definitely assassins. And I will concede that we don't know. There's no solid evidence that they're actually trying
They
to
could
poison
just be
anyone.
going there to sell
Did
things.
you put a hit on me?
I canceled it. Okay? I canceled it at the last moment. I said no thank you. But
Did
like
they
I said,
confirm that it was canceled?
you define confirm. Yeah, that doesn't matter, Rahim. Just don't eat or drink anything for the next week, okay? God. They know that I know that they know that I know. I cannot stress this enough. I think they're suspicious of me. I don't know why. Well, I know why. It's pretty obvious.
So should we leave the caravan then and ride the donkeys? Or should we stay with them?
Because I'm totally sure we can just outrun this caravan on donkeys.
Speaking of which, at this point, Nagraj has come back with their bathing supplies and they're heading to the caravan. And you notice they notice a wet spot in the sand and they look down and examine it.
Wet spot?
You know, where you dumped the poison. And you never said you were going to cover it up or
Oh my
anything
god,
of
you're
that sort.
totally right. I completely forgot about that.
And then they quickly start going into the caravan and looking at their items
Oh my god.
and pull out a clear vial and are now shaking their head. And at this point, Nagini's running towards them and just conferring words. And both of them turn and look at both all of you.
I animate a corpse.
What?
The
Where are we keeping corpses?
and she starts speaking in tongues. I'm assuming, are there any dead bodies like buried along this stretch of land?
Okay. Let me. Can you read out what that spell
I'm gonna
does?
find a random Joe, like just
And necromancy. We've all done it, okay?
When panicking, summon a corpse. That solves everything.
Exactly. I'm gonna use an AP for this, so I hope this pays off.
Okay, what do you sorry, what is the skill you're using?
Necromancy reanimate. Cost 1. I animate a nearby corpse or skeleton, making it your thrall. It can move around, but it cannot leave your scene. The spell ends when you leave the scene. You control the creature telepathically. It is not conscious and it only follows your commands. The creature has 3 HP and can attack for 1 HP.
Yeah. So describe I'm gonna take a very, very quick break right now. We'll be back in about the time it takes for me to use the restroom. And we will deal with this animated corpse.
I have a plan, guys. I have a plan.
So, join us in less than 5 minutes. We will be back. Hi, welcome back.
Hey.
Yeah, so last we left off, Junsely in a mad panic reanimates a corpse. So please describe how you reanimate the corpse, and I will tell you which corpse you have animated.
Sure. As soon as John Sully sees these people like looking at the wet spot, like rummaging through their stuff, she's like, "Oh shit!" So she throws out a linen wrapped hand, and speaks in tongues, sort of in like a kind of dark language that I'm not sure if any of the other players will be familiar with, unless they have had any relationship to necromancy in any way. And then the ground sort of close to her feet starts to shake a little and crack. And then she like sort of forms a fist and pulls upward. And then the ground erupts and a corpse emerges.
And that is a corpse of a hyena. And it makes this kind of like gargling laugh as it rises.
Oh, that's perfect. And Johnsley's gonna give a single command to this hyena.
Looks like really bad roadkill.
Yep, just nasty. It's disgusting.
And that's about as far as we'll go for description, just for the sake of like veiling.
Wonderful. The only command she's gonna give is distract.
It flops over and rolls over, plays dead.
No, in her head she's like, no, not distract them. Make them not look at us.
Why is there a hyena? Why is there a hyena? Oh.
What is that?
I'm so sorry.
Oh, that
The
is
donkeys
gross.
start braying and kind of starting to
No.
buck, trying to run away.
No, babies.
We have to go. We have to get out of here. They're gonna assassinate us. We gotta go.
What did you do?
What did you do?
I didn't want to. I panicked. Okay, I can. This is part of the experimental medicines I've been dabbling in. It's not true resurrection. That's something I've been trying to do, but this will do for now.
That's a dead hyena?
Yes. Well, it's not dead right now. It's kind of undead.
Gojin just sighs. He's sitting still, riding on one of the donkeys and sipping his tea, watching all of this go down with disappointment.
Oh, that's so much worse than anger. Oh, we both know it. We both know it, Gojin.
He's just sort of thinking, I think I might have to reevaluate who in the group makes the worst decision.
So this hyena starts to trot forward
Yeah.
and goes towards the two people you kind of aimed. It's like, not us, them. And kind of starts kind of like a dog trying to reach up is trying to basically get up to the eyes so they can't see you.
Perfect. Oh, what a good boy. That's kind of cute. Yeah, that's wonderful.
And right now
Sure,
they're
and Pet
horrified,
Cemetery was adorable.
You see like sort of in you hear in Registani's very quick shouts, like commands, and the three that were milling around the other caravan that are closest to you are now kind of pulling out their little daggers and are heading towards you.
No!
It didn't work.
Well, you said to distract the two in front that were further off.
Oh my god.
Can Gojin size up the three of them?
Size up in what way?
So that's one of my warrior skills.
Mm-hmm.
Evaluate the capabilities of a nearby creature or group of creatures. The guide will give you useful insights into their capabilities, strengths, vulnerabilities, and/or resistances. At a minimum, you receive an accurate assessment from the guide about whether or not they would pose a fair fight.
You think that they are, when they pull out the daggers, they pull it out in one quick motion, which means they are trained in those daggers. The daggers look well oiled. And you're not sure if they're basically honing oils or considering the information that Junsely has given you, whether they are perhaps enhanced in any way.
Mm-hmm.
But they also seem very limber as they're coming up to you. So, 3-on-1, as in just you, might be a hard fight. You'll definitely take a couple of hits, perhaps, maybe. But 4-on-4, it's not too bad. But that depends on how capable and competent your travel mates are.
I'm so fucked.
I literally don't have any damage spells or features.
I've actually got some stuff. I'm not useless in a fight.
Okay. Gojin's just gonna hold up his hand. We don't really have to do this. I'm sure we can work out something to compensate you for this really, really, really bad breach of trust.
I'm sorry. To be fair, my suspicions were confirmed.
Okay,
Why?
but
Why?
we don't have any quarrel with these people.
You're right. I know this was a really, really dumb decision, and I'm curious. I want to know. I seek knowledge. But clearly this is knowledge I should not have gone seeking, because we've betrayed the trust of these fine associates, have we not? And I would like to reiterate that hyena is it will not attack. It is a friendly dog.
And one of them says, well, we were going to wait until we were much further in the desert, but the boss said that the jig is up, so we should carry out our delivery.
Wait.
What's
and
your delivery?
They are approaching you, as in they are not persuaded by your words in any way.
What?
You get the sense, Junsely, that perhaps you all were the target in the first place.
Wait, hold on. The first thing Junsely does with this knowledge, she turns to Gojin and says, I told you so!
Gojin is just going to push her behind him.
Oh,
and
raw him like
he's
matchsticks. You easily.
Yeah.
Oh, were you
he's just gonna
distracted
sweep
by
her
the
aside.
Elder Lahore or the younger Lahori?
Oh, as in you're asking them?
Yeah, I'm asking that. Were you contracted by the elder Lahori or the younger Lahori?
And they say, well, we don't kiss and tell.
Okay. And
All right.
And
says,
at this point, they're basically gonna approach and
I'm trying to
fight.
do a thing
Well-
while you're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think as Tulsi's like seeing them approach. Where's the leader? Like, is the leader with an eyesight?
The leader is not nearby. But
Are they in eyesight?
they are in eyesight.
I
Currently having a dead hyena on them like a doggy begging for treats.
Oh, okay. They're busy. Who's leading the point? Is it like a point that
all
they're coming
three
in?
of them are kind of approaching.
Like in the line.
Yeah.
Is it like a line or like a Mighty Duck situation where they go on a point?
They're kind of well, I guess they're kind of circling you, so I guess they're not in a straight
Whoever's
line.
coming first towards
Yeah.
us. I'm gonna spend 4 8 points to do shock as a bolt of lightning strikes them from the sky. As like Tulsi sort of like is like like does a freak out lightning storm.
Does it
on
do
them.
anything? The lightning?
It does 8 points of damage, and if the creature has metal connected to their body, it becomes molten, hitting them for an extra 2 HP.
Oh my god! Tulsi, what the fuck?
I was gonna say fuck. Yeah, so with that, with shock, you fry the first one in your view sight, and the other two kind of hesitate for a second, but then charge at this point. So,
okay.
I'm gonna say that the three of you get to do something, and then they get to act.
All right, so Rahim has strapped, which lets him keep a single weapon on himself, no matter how improbable, without it being noticed. Which in this case means he kind of just flicks a hand out and somehow pulls a full-sized bow out, strings it really quickly, and lines up a shot.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot, just whoever's in front. 6. That's not ideal.
So it's a hard choice. You either have a misfire or you accidentally hit one of your friends.
I will misfire.
Okay.
So I snap the rope or something.
Yeah. So you need to find another piece of you'll need to you can fix it later, but for now you'll need to find something else that works as a weapon.
Yeah. All right. Next.
Gojin is going to you see his hand
Sorry,
moves
the
from the
6 is
quarters.
still a success, so it does go through and kind of glances the shoulder, but your bow snaps. But it's not enough damage to take them down, and the other two are still approaching quite rapidly. And Gojin.
Yeah. So Gojin's hand moves from the quarterstaff because he was thinking he would take them down mercifully if if this was just going to be a brawl, but the fact that their assignment is to kill the four of us, he's immediately going to move his hand over to the sword. And he's going to draw it out and sweep at the one who got hit first.
Oh, you're using Eager Edge?
Yes.
So as you draw it out, it goes, here we go again! Woo! Party time!
Okay.
So are you going after the one who is injured or the other one?
I'm going to go after the injured one first.
Okay.
And I rolled a 20, and that means I'm going to use an action point to activate my ability Flow.
Okay.
And Flow is when you roll a 20 on a basic attack, you may briefly enter a state of intense focus. After completing your initial attack, you may make immediately another basic attack on each enemy within reach. And these attacks are automatically successful.
Oh my god.
Okay. So please describe to me how you end one person's life and almost kill the other.
You just see Gojin. He sweeps twice at the first guy with the glanced injury, and he slashes a deep X into the guy's chest, and then on the turn, he twirls the sword and into a sort of Yakuza grip and stabs it through the other guy.
Yeah, she's still barely holding on. But she's kind of like and rolls a hit and stabs you.
I spend 1 AP and activate sneak attack. Immediately after she stabs him, I get to instantly knock her out.
Yeah.
Yay, sneak attack.
But Gojin, you start to feel a little weak. It doesn't take, like, you do take 2 hit points, but it wasn't just oil. You start to feel weak, and you start to feel sleepy.
Oh god.
As
you'll
you drop to the ground and you're slowly losing consciousness.
Yeah. So he pulls out Eager Edge from that person's body. He says, "Oh, you did just such a good job. Such a good job." And falls over and sleeps in sort of spoons with his sword.
And then, like, Rahim's tail snakes out from behind her, grabs this person by the neck, and just slams her into the ground.
So she's
Um,
knocked out, I think, not dead.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
I can make an attack roll if I want to try and do lethal damage, or I can just instantly knock out minions and like
Yeah,
that level of enemy.
yeah. Okay, so we're gonna leave it here because I think it'll be a good cliffhanger for what happens next time. Because we're not out of the fight yet, but we're out of the immediate nearby danger.
Mm-hmm.
As Gojin falls unconscious, and the 3 of the 4 assistants are 2 of them dead and 1 is knocked out. Yeah, this is exciting. So let's quickly go around the table, and reintroduce ourselves and tell us where we can find y'all, and we'll go in the other way around. So let's start with Nino.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. I'm not going to bother plugging anything. Nobody follows me or watches any of the shit anyway. So, yeah. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Morgan.
Hey, I'm Morgan. I played your dirt goblin known as Tulsi. You can find me on all the socials at Serena Bezos. Just go ahead and follow me there because I do a lot, unfortunately. But I'm getting better, setting boundaries.
All right. Bashir.
Hey, I'm Bashir Gauss. You can find me at Twitter at Bashir Gauss. You can find my independent RBGs at itch.io/HavocFet. And you can find my professional freelancing work with many companies over the next couple of years. I do a lot of freelancing.
And Connie.
Hey everybody, my name is Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. I play Johnslee Tahid, the doctor, whose pronouns are she and her. You can find me on Twitter at by Connie Chong. By as in the authorial sign-off, not the sexuality, though I am both. I am also the GM and executive producer behind Transplanar RPG on Twitter. We have a lot of cool events coming up, so definitely follow us and stay tuned for our all transgender, person of color led tabletop live stream. And that's it for me.
Yeah, thank you. And I am Mariam, the guide for this little show and this Sarzameen campaign. You can find me on social media at media_junkie. I do a lot of things. You can follow all of the stuff there. You can find me here. You can find me in Huetopia producing other stuff. And tomorrow we have game roulette with 10 candles, and it's going to be a fun, spooky game for Halloween week. And there's a possibility there might be an unfiltered Halloween party on Saturday night. We're still working those details out, so check our Huetopia Twitter for more information. And currently we are going to be raiding Vidithia. If you can stick around just a little longer and give your love to him. I believe he is playing Resident Evil 7. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna start the raid there. Stick around, and we are now back to our regular schedule, so we will be back in 2 weeks. And see what happens to our disaster party. Having found the caravan is not all it seems. Alright, see y'all in 2 weeks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.